All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Corona Geek here on Google Plus, where we talk about everything that has to do with mobile development using the Corona SDK. Now we're joined today in live here in the studio by Richard Harris. Hey, Richard, how you doing?
Well, thank you.
Now you're in Missouri, is that correct?
Ozarks in Missouri. That's
Oh,
correct.
oh,
Right around the Brampton country music scene, and yeah.
oh, very cool, very cool. Well, Richard is the CEO of Moonbeam Development, and you guys have your finger in a lot of pies, right?
We do. A lot of times my wife, says that I've got my finger in too many pies, but we do a lot of things. We have a Moonbeam Development. We have our own ad network, of course, LunarAds. We've got a magazine that's just coming out today. A lot of other things. Of course, we're mobile app developers, so we've got our own apps, our own inventory and portfolio there. So
Oh,
very busy.
well, very cool. Let's start out. Let's talk about LunarAds because I know that the developers are going to be a lot, very interested in that because it's talking about monetization and promotion and things like that. So,
Right.
and then we'll if we have time, let's definitely talk about some of these other things you got going on because it sounds very
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, just give us the snapshot of what exactly is LunarAds.
Okay. Well, LunarAds is sort of an ad network that's kind of three in one in a way. Basically, we are a cross promotion network. We started in 2009, sort of as an internal project with Moonbeam Development. We saw the need, fairly quickly to be able to promote our own apps to some of our other popular apps. And I think you would testify that the mobile economy has just completely changed since 2009. And then we had several really popular Android apps. Matter of fact, they were in the top 50 most of the time in the entertainment category. And so we sort of had this springboard effect where we incorporated our sort of version 0.001 of LunarAds, and we use it internally to promote our new apps. So it was just a springboard. We would get one of our apps in particular, Useless Facts, had a 3 million install base. And so when you advertise any new app through an app like that, you would immediately see 40, 50,000 downloads a day. I mean, it was just crazy. And so that was a very early manifestation of LunarAds. And since then, it's grown quite a bit. And in early 2011, we released an official public version, but it was sort of beta. It was very closed beta. We invited several developers into it to kind of get the feel for how they would use it. And of course, when we finally released it, which was later in 2011, to all of the developers and kind of made the Corona community aware of what it was and tried to explain it as best we could. We got a tremendous response from that, and today it's used for cross promotion, which we can dig more into that in detail. It's used for what we call pass-through ad mediation, and we have our own ad offerings that we do through LunarAds, so you can earn money directly from us as well. So that's sort of a squirrel's view of what it is. It's a sort of a white space ad area for your apps.
Oh, well, oh, that's
I,
very interesting.
I mean, yeah, it's a. I don't want to ramble too much and get off of what the focus of the LunarAd solution is. But it's hard to explain exactly what it is. The best comparison I have is, Google AdWorld. It's
Yeah.
sort of an AdWorld type platform, but we've plugged in several features into it. Of course, cross promotion, and there's 7 different ad networks you can choose from after you create your channel and identify yourself on the network that that you can use inside any of your apps. So it's sort of an AdWorld platform, but we've got a lot of features there that we make available to the developers.
Okay, well let's break it down then. And so tell me how does the cross promotion piece work then?
Well, the cross promotion piece, I'll go a little bit into the history.
Okay.
Early on, the cross promotion was basically when we would create a campaign for one app to, offer another app, and it was more of a one-to-one sort of thing. And early on, we did an impression count, so developers sort of it was a credit system, and we found out that doesn't work. The credit system breaks pretty quick when you have a high volume developer with 100,000 impressions a day. They could be impressions, they could be clicks, they could be installs, whatever you want to call it. The credit system just doesn't work because you have high volume developers and low volume developers. And we were getting several developers say, I've got all of these credits, but I'm not, what's going on? How am I ever going to spend all of these? And so what we did in the cross-promotion scene, this was a fairly new switch we did a few months ago, was we sort of leveled the playing field. We said, what we're going to do is take all of the incoming traffic and just gate off 5%, and that's going to be the cross-promotion traffic. So 5% of all the traffic is used to cross-promote among developers. So if you go to LunarAds and you sign up, install the SDK, and embed it into your app, immediately when your app becomes live on the network, if you have a promotion that is associated with that app, it will be shown in the cross-promotion network. That's a little bit cart before the horse because you also have to have your promotion needs to be approved, and you can pause it or whatever, because if your app's not live in the market, you wouldn't want your promotions running. But that's sort of how the cross-promotion piece works. You can upload banners, you can upload interstitial creatives, and soon to come are app walls, and we also have notification ads that we do. But I mean, it's not a credit system. It's basically a blanket 5% that we gate off for all developers to do cross-promotion. It's a little bit like the old web rings. You remember those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, but not quite. What it allows developers to do is immediately get traffic to their app, even if this is your first app ever in the market. You can, once it's released into the market and you uncheck to run your promotions active on the network, they will start showing, and all of a sudden you're going to see installs be firing away on your app without paying for any promotion at all.
Okay, so you made the web ring reference there. Then everybody's just sort of in the rotation based on some algorithm that you've got going on there.
Correct. It's 5% of all incoming traffic is first sort of tithed, if you will, towards the cross promotion network. And then there's also, in order to pay for the network, we use 5% for our own internal ads, and those can be other apps we've got through Moonbeam or other apps that we've sort of brought alongside, or they could be other network ads from networks that we use. But it's only 5%. So in total, it's 10% of all traffic we denote for cross promotion / network ads. But it's actually split off 5% towards cross promotion, 5% for network ads.
Okay, so then does okay?
Can
go ahead.
you break that down a little bit? I mean, like 5%. I have my first app that I'm actually going to publish. Not like the 8 to 10 apps you have that you get halfway through and go, yeah, I'm not going to finish. I have an app that really all I need is artwork, and it's going to be polished and ready to go. It's got a built-in space for, like I say, 728 by 90 banner, potential app wall, maybe even 1, possibly 2 interstitials. So what would be my process? I would, sign up with LunarAds, right?
Correct.
Okay, and then I would download the SDK.
Correct.
And then I would identify the 3 to 4 spots that I want the ads to go.
Correct.
Okay. And then I would launch it onto the market, and then I would hit the go button for LunarAds. I assume there's start bringing me traffic. So What would the 5%, now remember, this would be my first app. This will be probably 0 traffic, except for, I'm going to do all the wonderful little promotional things like its own site, things like that. So what kind of traffic am I going to get, and what would be the cost to me?
Well, if I understand you correctly, if I can just back up also and just kind of give you more of a squirrel's view of the install process. It's very, very simple. I know I'm speaking to a lot of the Corona audience, and we're Corona ambassadors ourselves. We've got, I think, 30 or 40 Corona apps in the market today, so we're very familiar with Corona. But the Corona process would be you sign up on LunarAds, you create an app channel, and you can create as many channels as you want for that app. You can have one for banners, interstitials at the end, whatever you want. You're just going to create ad space. You're going to define ad space inside your app. And each area of that app you're going to require, it's a Lunar module, no pun there, but you require the Lunar module there, the lunar.lua file, and you just call the ads, and you can close the ads wherever you want in there. So once that process is done, and your app is on the market. Let's say that you have an app that's showing interstitials when it first loads the splash screen, and then at the end is going to show interstitials. You're going to get, first of all, that space that you've created, you do not have to use for cross promotions. 5% of it is going to be used for cross promotion. So anytime you request something, out of 100 requests, 5 of those are going to be for cross promotion. But the other 90% minus our 5 network percent, you can use for, first of all, you can promote your own other apps. You can also use ad networks, like you could show lead bolt app walls, do that channel if you wanted to. And it's just a real simple process. You go to lead bolt, you sign up, if you're not already, and you create a new zone or a channel, and you just define that channel in your LunarAds dashboard that you want this app to show lead bolt ads. And so it will just immediately start showing lead bolt ads on your behalf, not through us. It's actually a pass-through mediation. We don't have any take or any sort of claim on any of the revenue or any of the traffic stream that you're showing there. So the cost to you is going to be nothing. I mean, it's just 5%. So again, out of 100 impressions, 5% of those we're going to show other developers ads through that channel. And so it doesn't really cost you anything other than 5% of cross promotion and then 5% network ads. So in total, 10% of your traffic requests will be filled with something that you haven't really defined in a way. I mean, we match up apps that are similar. We do, of course, by platform. We can do geolocating, but that doesn't seem to be as relevant to some, but we can do it. We can even do carrier location if the need ever came up. So if you just wanted to target AT&T on your AT&T app, and it gets real important in the Android side because there's a lot more liberty you can take with ad streams on the Android side than you can on the iOS side. So does that sort of answer the question?
Sort of. One of the things that I would like to do is, being brand new, I'm not going to get a whole lot of installs from the get-go. I mean, really, I'll get a few, but really, app promotion would be more my interest at the very beginning stages.
That's right. And of the 5%, if we're doing, let's say we did 1 million impressions that day, a certain percentage of those are going to be for your app. So you're going to get promoted immediately. The minute your app becomes live on the network, on the LunarAds network, we see that, and then any promotion you have tied to that new app. So going to the LunarAds dashboard, you define a promotion that you want, and you target an app. So you've created an interstitial, and you've created a banner that's ready to go to display into the cross-promotion network, and then boom, your app becomes live in the iOS store, the Android Play Store, whatever. The network sees that, and as long as your ads are ready to go, they're unpaused or whatever, they start showing in the network, and you will start generating installs from even the higher volume apps. And again, that's the reason we sort of did the 5%, because the clicks and the credit system just doesn't work, because if you're a brand new app and it's credit based, unless we give you some startup credits,
exactly,
you're not going to have any installs. It works great for people that have a popular app already, and let's say it has 100,000 impressions today. They release an update with LunarAds in it, and they start showing a whole bunch of cross promotions. They'll get a whole bunch of credits, but the lower volume guys don't. So as a new developer, that's a good example, because new developers have one app, they just released it, they're sort of green with the whole thing, they don't know what's going to happen. They can immediately get installs for their, even if it's brand new. Let's say it's some weird app that nobody ever thought of, and it's a great idea, and they put it in the market, and they just really don't know what's going to happen, rather than the waiting period to occur, which we've all been there. You put an app out there, and it's like, well, yesterday I did 5 installs, and they were just organic. They were just, someone found it and was curious. We put it in front of the faces of all of the users of any app running LunarAds, and it's a 5% credit, or it's a 5% tax in a way. It's so I mean, does that get a little closer to that answering?
Is that
yes? Because like I said, being new to app development and having my first app, well, yeah, there's nobody even knows I exist yet. So right. How do I get those initial installs that would then allow me to trade or at least have impressions?
Yeah, so you're just part of the rotation, Chris. So you're immediately there as part of everything that's being shown. So
whether I've got 100,000, 1,000, or 10 impressions a day, I still get the same slice of 5%.
You do, and the reason why is there's going to be an imbalance, right? There's going to be an imbalance of, I'm new, I don't have anything to give into this, I have no skin in the game, but I just got 1,000 installs. This is great. But what happens is your app just got 1,000 installs. If it gains traction and gets 10,000 installs a day, whatever, well, guess what? Now you're a popular app feeding the lower volume guys. And so it's more of a sort of a buddy system, if you will, or just a tax system than it is a credit system where you're going to have that imbalance. And then we went through that, and it was difficult, and we had to take a couple developers in the network and promote them a little more than we would have the other developers to sort of even it out, because it became a problem. We had the guys from Canon Cat, they said, well, we just generated 1 million installs or 1 million impressions, and we went back and forth with impression based or click based or install based, and we've tried them all, and none of them really worked. So we just leveled the playing field with a tax. 5% of all your incoming traffic is cross promotion. Low volume, medium volume, high volume, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that what's that old phrase? A rising tide lifts all boats, or something like that. I mean, it seems like
right.
It seems like the more installs there are across the board, there's just more inventory for everybody to be able to take advantage of.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, very cool. So then, okay, so we got kind of the cross promotion piece. So you mentioned, I'm interested in the monetization piece, because there's this other 90%. So the other 90% is what is stuff that I bring to the table for mediation, or something that I can tap into that you already have, or tell me how the monetization part works.
Monetization. Okay. Well, first of all, if I haven't said this already, we're mobile developers ourselves, so this is close to our heart too, and that's sort of why it became what it is, because we saw the need for this, and we knew that the value that other developers would want. So we understand the demands of making revenue out of this whole thing. I mean, I don't know any mobile developer that doesn't do this for some stream of money. And so our monetization piece works very similar to the cross-promotion piece, except you get to decide what the rest of the traffic is spent on. We have, I think, 7 now predefined partners. They're just predefined. You can choose from AdMob is in there, Lead Bolt, banners or interstitials or app walls. You can choose from Pontiflex. Those guys are fabulous. They very high CPMs. Tapit's in there. So any of those ad networks, you can just choose from. We do not take, again, any of the revenue. Here's sort of the process. You've got a LunarAds channel, and you create. You want to show Lead Bolt ads, for example. You would go to Lead Bolt, you would define a new zone, and you would plug that into your channel information, and then say within LunarAds, the dashboard on LunarAds, I now want to show Lead Bolt ads. So we use that channel information, and through our internal process, request an ad from Lead Bolt on your behalf. So we're sort of a pass-through mediation. If you need any analytics, if you want to know how much money you've made through Lead Bolt or any of that stuff, currently you have to go to Lead Bolt to find that out, because again, we don't know that information. We don't really want to know that information. It's more of a white space for you to use any ad network you want. We've got some predefined ones, and it sort of gets into one of the questions that you had sent me for this discussion later on down the line, but I'll mention it now. One of the updates we're doing is just that. It's going to be a white space ad whirl type area where you can, if you find some ad network or even affiliates, I mean, affiliate marketing is huge, and if you find some mobile affiliates that you want to advertise just all on your own, you define where those ads come from, you define where the clicks are going to go to, and then you check the affiliate for how much money you made. But you're using your ad space for what you want to. And that's sort of how that's a squirrel's view of the mediation piece. Part of the reason it is the way it is now is because early on, in 2010, I'll just kind of give you a really real-world example. We had an application that did not have LunarAds in it. I don't know what we were thinking. It was just a sort of an idea app, and we stuck it in the market, and it was crazy. It went to number 50 in the iOS App Store of top free apps, and it was just crazy. Well, in that particular week that it was in the top 50, the ad network we were using broke. And I won't mention names, That would be a bad thing to do, but I think they've then fixed all their issues and whatever. But it became very evident that if you lock yourself into using one single ad network, you're sort of putting all your eggs in one basket. And it's a bad thing to do. I mean, because maybe Leadbolt 1 week just goes to a 1 cent CPM. Nobody wants that. So if I had another option there, if I could use Ponoflex, or I could use Tapit, or I could use InMobi, or any of those other networks, you can do that. You have the ability to do that. And so, and that leads me into another point, is some of our apps, when we first started developing, that went to the top 20 or 25 in the Android Play Store, or the Android market as it was called then, we just kind of kicked ourselves for not thinking of this sooner, because we lost so much of our audience. I mean, there's a lot of people that never update. But if you have a white space in there already and you want to switch ad networks, you can do it. You can switch ad networks without having to update your app. And that's a big thing. So the ad mediation piece is, you can think of it like a pass-through mediation. You define whatever ad networks you want to use, and in the very near future, probably early December, we're going to have the ability for you to define any white space you want. So you can create your own affiliate marketing thing if you want. You can go to Offer Mobi and find some offer that pays you $2 for an app install. You can just create a campaign inside one of your apps. You get all that money. We don't take any of it. It's just passed through. The only cost to you is 5% of your traffic is used for cross promotion,
right? And
5% of it's used for our network ads. So it's a very low amount in our eyes, to pay for what you're getting in the network. So
yeah, I like the sound of that. I like the flexibility that I'm hearing, because I know on the web people do that all the time, where they swap out networks, or ads based on what's paying. If some promotion comes up that you're not aware of, some holiday promotion, or any given Tuesday, whatever it is, and that ad's going to do really well on your site, you'll go out and swap that ad for that period of time, and it may only be a couple of days or a week or whatever.
Right. And we just, as developers ourselves, we don't like being locked into one ad network. It's just not fair, and it's not the best monetization strategy as a developer that you can do.
Okay, so the switch is done on your system, not in the app.
That's correct. I mean, and that's one of our the most flexible part of our SDK is you sort of install it, and you embed your channel information, and then the rest of it you remote control from our LunarAds dashboard. What ad networks you want to use. You can even plug in Google Analytics channels, which is awesome, because Google is sort of the king of analytics, and they can give you real-time statistics, where your app traffic's coming from, how many users came from that day, what region, all those things. And it's just a checkbox, and you plug in your Google Analytics channel on the LunarAds dashboard, and now you've all of a sudden got Google Analytics results for your app. And so I mean, that's exactly correct. You install the SDK, and the rest of it you control through the dashboard.
Okay. So okay, now I feel pretty solid on that. That sounds like a great setup. Now let's say that I'm new and I don't have all of those established relationships with all the ad networks and all that kind of stuff like that. Is there a push button solution that you guys have? Do you have relationships already with networks, and where I can just say, do whatever, fill the ad spaces with whatever you have?
Well, we actually don't, and part of the reason for that is because most ad networks are coveted. They don't like to, and in order to do that, when you take a network like, I can't think of their name now, but they do mediation, but it's not pass through. They basically, on your behalf, request an ad, but they take part of the revenue. And some of the things that we found with that particular solution are the net term payouts are crazy, like 60 days, 90 days, because they have to get the money from the ad networks and then pay you. Yeah. And so rather than do that, we just thought, we're just going to give the developer the ability to go to those networks directly and then mediate it yourself. I mean, most developers, me included, it's sort of a daily check of how much money you've made or how are things doing. I mean, let's not, keep secrets here. Everyone does it, you sort of watch it. And I mean, maybe the big guys don't, but, most of us really watch it closely.
They hire somebody to watch their stuff.
Yeah. And so if Tapit has tanked in the past few hours, maybe you have a partnership with LeadBolt. You have to just go create a channel, whatever, plug LeadBolt ads in, and you have the ability to do that. So it just that whole let me back up. Full service mediation is a great idea, but the logistics in pulling it off there's just too much overhead. And if you want to get paid in 3 months, I guess that if that works for you, that works for you. But there's just, and also you're sort of like playing the stock market in a way and just giving a stockbroker, just tell me what's best. And sometimes it's not best for you. It's other times, because your app may not meet the criteria of whatever network they're, maybe it's something that's showing some game that just isn't relevant to you at all. So we're all about giving the power back to the developer. Let you decide what you want to show there. Okay. And we've, including the testimony of ourselves, we found it works the best. I mean, it just you know exactly what's going in that space.
Okay, so that answers one of my questions that I had here, was basically what are the average conversion rates, which I was actually talking about. What are the CPMs and stuff like that, and that is dependent, I guess, then on the network that you're partnered with.
It is. And I didn't mention Side B there. We also, it's not officially released. It's been in closed beta for about 3 or 4 months now. We also do direct offers through LunarAds. So it is sort of a push-button solution. If you install LunarAds and you want to earn money directly from us, we do the same old revenue share that all of them do. We have our own offers. We do have, we are very selective with what offers we do put in our network. They're high yield, high CPM, and if they don't work for you, you can directly compare them with results from LeadBolt. And as a matter of fact, you can also, another point I'll make here, let's say you want to run LeadBolt, Pontiflex, and our offers all side by side. You can do that. You just select the networks. We auto switch for you. And if you have 3 networks right now, it's just an average. So each one will be shown 33.3% of whatever traffic you're sending in. So LeadBolt will be shown 33%, will be shown 33%, and on. If you have 4 selected, you'll be shown 25% each network. One of the upgrades we're doing in the very near future in our December release is you're going to have the option to weight which network. So if you want to show LeadBolt 90% of the time and cross promotions 10% of the time, outside of the 5%, again, you can do that. It's just, we just haven't released that public yet. It's in our beta and it's working fine, but that'll be another option. So
yeah, that sounds like a great option for sure. Just got to be able to. I mean, if you're going to have that level of control, being able to choose your partners, then you got to, be able to say how many of them show what percentage of the time. Because I know that some pay better and have, more ads to offer, and then some of them are just kind of like the backfill for whatever's.
And you could do that. Another thing you can do inside the Lunar dashboard with that white space you've created, and again, it's difficult to explain everything that LunarAds is because it does so much. I mean, it's just you create ad space inside your apps. You fill it with whatever you want to fill it through the LunarAds dashboard. Well, one of the unique advantages of our SDK and our solution is that you can also directly target your own apps. You don't just have to, say, well, I want to be cross. I want to, for my 90% of the rest of my traffic, I want to cross promote, but I don't want to cross promote with everybody. I want to just promote my other app, and you can do that, just by selecting which app it is that you've got the SDK installed in. That's enabled in the dashboard, and only your app or your other promotion will show up, and you can do that. You can even average it out over, like, say you have 5 other apps. You select, I want to cross promote only my own applications, these 5 apps. So we'll rotate those in and out for you inside your maybe a popular app or whatever. So
what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the promotion and the monetization platform that you would want to have if you rolled your own, but without having to roll your own.
Exactly. That's exactly what we did.
because these are all, I'm like, check, yep, nope, yep, check. That's exactly what I would want to have,
Well, again, that comes from us being developers,
right,
wanting to be able to promote. For example, we have an app that went to number 19 in the App Store last year called Naughty or Nice. It's just a fingerprint scanner, does these funny results and gives you lumps of coal, and you can share it with your friends, all these crazy things. Obviously a very wildly popular app. We wanted to be able to promote a new app that we just released called Make Me Santa Claus, as you put the beard on people and all that stuff. we can directly target Make Me Santa Claus through Naughty or Nice just by selecting cross-promote only my own apps and showing the banner for Make Me Santa Claus. So now our popular app is just targeting our own brand new application that has no traffic, or did not have any traffic, does now. But yeah, it's the whole thing was spun off of what we thought we needed, and as mobile developers.
Now, in that, can I can target my own apps? Can I target a particular app in the network?
That's in our early December release. That's one of the features we're doing, where you can form partnerships with other developers. We haven't quite worked out all the mathematics there because of the unique 5% overall we're doing. And we want to make sure it's fair and easy to do. That's another thing we're doing in our December release. Our dashboard is going to change a little bit and make it a little more intuitive, because as hard as it is to explain what LunarAds does, it's even more difficult to explain to someone how to use it. And so we're making it more what we call Big Chief Tablet, where you've just got a crayon and then you just, but with a lot of control behind it. And we want to give the developer the control, but we want to make it easy to do.
I love it. Okay, cool. Okay, let's talk about analytics then, because I feel like we got a good handle on the promotion. We've got a good handle on the monetization, tracking. I mean, do you guys provide that? I mean, you mentioned a couple of times putting in Google Analytics. What's the best way to do the tracking?
Organically through LunarAds, we of course show you impressions, clicks, installs. You'll know which app you're getting the most installs from, because you just see it in a top-down table view, and it's daily, weekly, monthly, all those things. We can also show you what carrier most of your traffic is coming from, what version of OS is coming from, of course, geolocation, all that stuff. And it's good. It's a good thing we do that, but we know what we're good at, and analytics, and we can trap anything we want and spit it back out to you. But Google has a way of doing it that's just very intuitive. Our real-time view, for example, is not their real-time view, and so we know that. So we give you the ability to just plug in a Google Analytics channel, so you can look at Google Analytics, and you can also look at our analytics. Which there are some differences. I mean, for example, the main characteristics of our analytics is that you'll know how many impressions your app's shown that day, how many clicks that you've shown, and how many installs you got from different applications. And it's a little confusing right now. That's part of our dashboard update. For example, if you pull up the information of your greatest app ever, and you look at how many times it was shown yesterday, there's going to be hundreds of rows with different apps that have shown your promotion, for example. And of course, it's numbered the greatest to least, but it's still a little confusing, and we're going to clean that up a little bit. So that side of the analytics, you can only come to LunarAds for. I mean, to know how many times your app was installed and what your click-through and all those things were. But the greater scope of analytics, we sort of push off into Google.
Okay, yeah, that's good to hear, because I know as a developer that there's things that I do very well and things that I'd rather just tag into something else that's already there. Why reinvent the wheel, right? And and it's kind of just as a general listening to you talk, it's interesting, it's funny, whatever words you want to use to hear you say that this is confusing or that's confusing or whatever, because I know as a developer, and as a developer / artist type thing, nothing's ever finished. Nothing's ever. You know what I'm saying? It's always it's an ongoing art project forever.
That's correct. I mean, that's a great way of putting it too. We built a house in 2006, and everyone asked me, "Is your house finished? Is your house finished?" And I would say, "It's really not finished. We just sort of quit for a while." And you come back to it. You know how it is. It's always in a revision. There's never a final revision of whatever you're doing. That's a good point.
Yeah, very good. We just quit for a while. I'm going to use that. I'm going to borrow that. Okay, so you've got an SDK then for Corona. So what do I mean, we sign up, get all set up and stuff. But from a code perspective, what do I need to do to integrate this into an app?
Okay. Well, again, we built this specifically for Corona developers. We're native developers as well. We do iOS, Xcode, all those things. But when we sort of laid down with Corona and went through the growing pains. We've been with them since, I believe it was 2009. I think Carlos actually solicited us, or whoever it was. Been a long time ago. But when we kind of got real familiar with that and developed a few apps, we thought, well, we've got to build an SDK for the Corona developers with Lunar. So it's very targeted to Corona developers. It's very, very easy to do. Basically, the steps are like this: you go to LunarAds.com, you sign up, you confirm your sign up. It's a typical back and forth with email. You sign up, and then you go and you create an app channel. So whatever app this is going to go in, if let's just say you're going to show small banner ads at the bottom of your screen, you create a channel. You define whatever banners you want. It can be cross promotions, whatever. You define that, and so what you're going to get is a channel number and your publisher ID, which is all of that's very visible to the system. You go and you embed the lunar.lua file, which is a module file. You embed it into your app directory, wherever it's at, and then you require it through your main.lua or whatever storyboard scene you want to show the apps. You just require it, you show Lunar, and you define whatever app channel it is and whatever publisher ID it is. And there's a few other advanced, if you wanted to position it exactly somewhere, you can also do that. And so once you define that, when you build your app, ads will show up. The whole implementation takes about 2 to 3 minutes. It's very, very quick. And once the SDK is embedded and you have the ads showing where you want, there's just nothing else you need to do but control it through the dashboard.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, it's very, very simple, very quick. You just define the channels through the dashboard once signed up, and then again, you can create as many channels as you want. You can show an interstitial every screen, or maybe show one at the beginning, one at the end, and show banners in the middle. Whatever you wanted to do.
But again, that comes back to the app code and how it handles showing ads or not showing ads correctly.
Right, and we basically, there's 2 functions inside the module. There's show ads and there's hide ads. And you just you select back and forth and whatever you want to do. We also support the new Corona web view. I should point that out. But not to completely throw a hammer at them. It doesn't work right, and they know there's some problems there. So you can fault back to the web pop-ups for Corona users. So if you just want to use web pop-ups, you can do that. There's just some very weird oddities. It has to do with sizing and scaling, which is always a big issue with Corona apps, because when you're targeting 4 different devices and 8 different platforms, it's just very difficult to pull it all off in one app. So I know that they're working on the WebView part of things, and I've talked to Peach Pellin about it. I think David, I've talked to him a little bit about it. There's some forum posts about it. So yeah, but yeah, it's very easy to implement the SDK and to get ads running. I believe we can do it in under 30 seconds. It's a very routine thing for us, but brand new, looking at the system the way it is, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes, and you'll have. Matter of fact, there's been a lot of developers tell us it was the quickest implementation they've ever done, and so that's a good testimony.
Oh, okay, very well. Yeah, it sounds as what do you say? As difficult as it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? It only as hard as it needs to be, and it sounds like it's extremely simple. So that's good. Well, let's talk about future plans then. We kind of got a good baseline of what's going on here. I mean, you mentioned some things in beta. You mentioned some what's coming out on the horizon. What kind of timelines are we looking at?
Well, we're hoping for the middle of December for this next revision of the dashboard. There will not be a new SDK release because, again, that's part of the beauty of it. It's so flexible. It's so universal that you just don't need to update the SDK. What we need to do is update the dashboard to make it more intuitive and include more features which filter right down into what you have available for you to use that SDK with. So I'm going to refer to some of my notes here. One of the things we're going to be doing, of course, is the white labeling of networks, where you can create your own network if you want. Let's say that it's not an option that we have a direct partnership with. It's not LeadBolt. It's not Pontiflex. It's not any of those. You want to create your own network and have it show up in the analytics and be able to use that network in any of your other app channels, where you're going to be able to do that. You're going to be able to define basically a network, and you can call a script, you can call any HTML you want, you can call affiliate networks. So let's say, for example, you find one of those weird holiday ads. It's going to pay you $5 on a conversion, and you want to show that through your applications, just your own stuff. So you create basically a white label ad network or a white label ad space, and you're going to call it the best offer in December, and then you're going to choose that from your other applications. I want to show the best offer in December, and so that's going to be one of the things you can do. It's sort of getting right into that ad world sort of way of doing things, where you just define whatever you want, and we're going to show it for you on your behalf. So there's that. There's also let me see, working on some enhancements to cross-promotion to allow for, this is direct partnering thing we were talking about, where you can directly partner with another developer and say, hey, I'm going to show your ads, you can show my ad, and we're going to get into some bidding stuff where you can say, hey, I'll give you 50 cents on an install or $1 on an install, and that sort of thing is in the works. I don't know if that's going to make it in the December release, but the partnering will. We just don't know if we're going to be able to pull off the pricing structure of all that, and having developers, like maybe some developer with 100,000 installs wants to pay other developers 50 cents or $1 to install their app, right? So they can put that into the marketplace, and this gets a lot into another ad network that does a very similar thing. So you'll have the ability to do that, but I just don't know if that's going to make it into the December release. I mentioned earlier the beta of our own ad network or our own ad offerings. That's probably going to be final release in the mid-December release. So developers basically, from their channel information on LunarAds, the dashboard, they'll be able to go and, rather than select lead bolt or cross promotions, whatever, they'll see a new option that says Lunar Offers, and they'll just check that. And then once they, of course, sign our digitally sign the publisher agreement that states all the payment terms and all that stuff, which is net 30, by the way, they'll then be showing our own high yield, hopefully very high CPM offers directly from their apps. And that gets into that whole push button, I'm a new developer, I don't have relationships with all these other networks, but I want to use LunarAds and start making money. I can just go enable Lunar Offers. And so that's going to be in the December release. Let me see. App walls, that's also coming, app walls. That could actually be enabled now, but we're just in final testing because of the stuff we have to pull off to do that. Basically, instead of showing a banner or one giant interstitial ad, in that interstitial space, we're going to show you individual advertisements that are banner related, very much like lead bolt app walls. And I won't lie, that's sort of where we got the idea. I mean, they work. They do have a very high click through and for whatever reason conversion rate. I think it's because it's more in your face and it's the menu style of apps, other apps that are available. So that's coming. Let me see. Finishing up. Of course, the reporting. We're going to be enhancing our reporting on the dashboard. Right now, it's sort of sprawled over 2 or 3 screens, and we want to get all of that on one screen and make it look a lot cleaner. So I think that's, without getting into some smaller stuff, of course there's some fix-its and some cleanup that we're doing, but those are the bulk of the updates that we're doing in mid-December.
Oh, wow. So yeah, you guys are actively engaged in this, making it stronger.
Making it stronger, and again, we want to see these things, and that's part of where our beta testing comes in. We beta test it. We allow some other developers to beta test it, and
so you eat your own dog food, huh?
Eat your own dog food. Sometimes we eat our own crow, but yeah, those are some of the updates that are coming. We're very excited about it because it's going to hopefully propel us into more of an audience, developer audience, and we're really hoping that happens.
Okay, so that's LunarAds. That's the promotion. That's the monetization. That's the analytics, the tracking. All that kind of stuff like that. But Moonbeam does a few other things. You mentioned a couple of things at the beginning of the show. Here is that I think it's something about a magazine and things like that. So tell me, give us what's going on there.
Okay. Well, without getting into too much about the magazine, this will be the official first notice of the magazine itself. It's called App Developer Magazine. Me and my team and a group of publishers in Shreveport, Louisiana, have developed a app developer magazine that's going to be specific information for app developers. We recognize the need in the industry that for this particular format. It will be a printed issue available each month. Of course, we'll have an online issue and a tablet issue and those types of things. But it's going to have real unique interviews in it, very specific information about monetization through many of the partners and relationships that we've built over the years. So it's going to have a lot of inside peeks to what you can do as a developer to make your apps better, to promote them better, to get news and information, all those types of things. And matter of fact, the website's online now. We just launched it. It's appdevelopermagazine.com, and you can pre-subscribe. We have a special pre-subscription rate. And so, yeah, we're very excited about it. We're hoping that the first issue will be released in January of 2013. That should be the first mailing issue. And we're just super stoked. And we've contacted a lot of people. We've got a lot of really neat content that you don't see anywhere else. And it sort of plays on how LunarAds was developed. As developers, we wanted this tool. Well, as developers, we also wanted a medium like this where we could, hold something in our hands, look at monthly relevant information. We've been talking with App Annie about getting a monthly, remember the old Billboard magazines where you would go through and see who was number 5 that past month, We're going to have those analytics available in just a printed format, of course, on the website too, where you can just hold it and, without being tied, which is it's an interesting irony. You're not going to be tied to a computer or a tablet or a phone. You can actually hold a magazine. It's amazing. And you'll be able to read it, and you can still get it online, and you can read the issues online. International subscribers are welcome. We have international subscriptions. We have United States subscriptions. And we're really hoping that a lot of developers buy into this, because the more attention we get, the more content we'll get from the developer community. And we just know that there's a lot of really neat topics that are not covered, that we're going to be covering inside the magazine.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask was, what made you choose the printed version? What that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, we are actually successful publishers already. We've had a magazine since 2006.
Okay.
It's an astronomy magazine. You can subscribe at astronomytechnologytoday.com. There's a plug for you. But it's a very successful magazine, and what we've learned from that is that even though there's an online issue and everyone's mobile now, and being mobile developers ourselves, we can certainly testify that it's just nice to hold a printed magazine. There's just something about it, to see your name or your app or news or information inside of a print. I mean, it's the same reason newspapers still exist, because people want that information. They want to hold it, and that's sort of where that came from. I mean, it's a very stark contrast from the mobile development world. And I think that's the very reason it's going to be successful, because it's a piece that you get to hold. It's a magazine.
I actually enjoy, and maybe as a magazine publisher this might terrify you, but I actually enjoy ripping pages out of the magazine. As I've read that article, rip it out, and I throw it in the trash. And then for the ones that I really like, I keep them. I will pull them out, and I will either put them next to the sink in the bathroom, as a reminder, because to internalize that information and make it a part of the way that I, the subconscious or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy the physical magazine for that reason, so I can just trash it.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. I mean, a lot of people, and more so now, and probably more than we'd want to admit, like setting the computer down, like setting the tablet. It's great. It's a great toy. I think a lot of people are still curious on where it's all going to go. I mean, how much can we do with these things, And when you have a magazine, it's there forever. And we've got subscribers of our other issue, of our other publication, that have issues all the way back to 2006. They save them religiously, and people collect stuff like that. And I think that this will be the same case. I mean, a lot of developers will welcome this new form, or old format, but in a new way.
I wrote an article way back in the day for Pocket PC Magazine.
Okay.
And of course that you may be able to find it online. I don't know, but I don't even know if the website exists anymore. But I have a copy of the printed magazine with my article in it, and
see?
So I can.
There's something about it. There's something about it, and we're thinking it's going to be a really nice format.
Oh, very cool. We'll definitely have to check that out, and I want to see the first issue when it comes out for sure.
Yeah, we'll love to have you. One of the other projects that we are working on, I won't spend too much time here, but as Moonbeam Development, we have a new app that we're releasing. It's a GPS location-based app that does something that no other application does. First of all, it's completely built on Corona, which
cool.
had its challenges. When you get into the subterranean levels of what the device can pull off, Corona is a few levels above that. So we had to pull off some stuff with the Enterprise Edition, but we're very excited about it. It's called Chirp. It's not available right now, but just to put a little bug in your ear, it's called Chirp, and it will be available on Android, on the Amazon tablet, of course, on the iOS side, and we're working on some other versions that are sort of outside of Corona. But because the whole app is universal, we think that it's going to be a real big thing. Where you have all of these tracking apps in the market now, but they only work on their own platforms in a way. And this particular application is very client-server based. And you can have boundaries. For instance, you could have, let's say that I've created a chirp, and I want to track where my daughter has went. When she gets to the mall, she just chirps in, and I know where she's at, and immediately I can set a 1 mile boundary for her. And so I'll know immediately when she leaves that 1 mile boundary through push notifications and all the other great things that are available on a mobile. And then, she can turn chirp off, or I can reset the boundary, or any number of things. And I can add as many people as I want into my nest. And so that's just a sort of squirrel's view of the application. It's one of our 6-month-long projects dealing with the just nuances of mobile development. So yeah, between the magazine and that, and just other projects, we've been very busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, I like the concept, the story there, the theme. Chirp, nest, that kind of thing.
Right. And I will point out one little. This is completely outside the scope of what we're talking about here, but an interesting thing happened when we registered the name Chirp in the iOS App Store. We registered the name, and we tried to squat it because we knew we wanted to call our app Chirp. You've got that 90-day window to get your app developed and all those things before it expires and everything. And we talked with Apple. We got a 3-month extension. During that 3-month extension, another app called Chirp became available on the App Store. And it was something we had not known, but you can register the same app name in the iOS App Store for different regions.
Oh,
and
wow.
we didn't know that. I still, what's weird is I'm in the United States, and the app name Chirp has nothing to do with our idea. But it's named Chirp. There's no periods, explanation points, smiley faces after it. It's named Chirp. Our app is named Chirp. But their app is available in the UK. Ours is available in the United States and abroad. But if I'm in the United States and I search the App Store for Chirp, I see their app. It's just interesting. I've still got a big question mark over that whole thing. And I contacted our Apple representative and talked to them, and that they pointed that all out to me, but it still didn't make sense. It was just weird.
Yeah.
I thought one name on the iOS store was one name, and that's all it was.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's an interesting footnote. Yeah, interesting footnote for sure.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, no, I like the idea because what I hear is that it's a filtering instead of having to, there's a lot of things that we had to pay attention to in the day, a lot of noise, things like that. So anytime that we can set something that just alerts us when we want the information that we want at that time.
Right.
Right. That way I can set it, forget it, and then it'll notify me when I need to know.
Yeah, and the good thing about the app is there are some other ones in the market that do something similar, but not quite. And again, they're not universal across all devices. So my iOS device couldn't really track an Android device, vice versa. But one of the things we're doing is we're not subscription-based with it. It's going to be a one-price app, and once you buy it, it's yours, and the service is on forever. So most of the other services are $5.99 a month or $3 a month or whatever. And that's not really our focus. It's not our goal, and I think that's going to help us market the app a little better.
So now, are you going to include LunarApps and our LunarAds in the?
Absolutely, man. It's our motto. We wear LunarAds T-shirts around here, man. It's because it just makes sense. Why do I want to tie myself to an ad network when I can just create white space or a white label and put whatever I want in there? I can put Leadbolt in there and my own affiliate marketing stuff, my other apps, So yeah, LunarAds is absolutely.
So you are the Dale Carnegie of app monetization. Is that?
Yeah, I'm not that rich, man. I don't have his money. But yeah, we're
yeah, but you got the railroad, you railroad, the steel mill, all that stuff. Yeah, why?
You've been watching History Channel.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
it's my favorite channel too.
Yeah. Dale Carnegie is one of my favorite figures. It's for sure.
Yeah, but we're really wanting LunarAds to grow, and we think with this new implementation of the dashboard. And again, there's no SDK update. Everyone that has the LunarAds SDK think the last update was September or August, and that was really our last big update. There's nothing else unless Corona would change something very fundamental inside their SDK. We shouldn't have an update for the foreseeable future.
Okay.
But the dashboard will be updated in mid-December.
All right, so people can go to LunarAds.com, correct?
That's correct.
And sign up.
And
And
that's completely free.
completely free. Get started right now. If they have any questions at all, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
There is, once they sign up, or even if they don't sign up, there's still a support, contact us right there. And we're very quick. That's another thing with LunarAds. Our support is second to none. And we're right there. Matter of fact, we also offer, I'll put a little plug in here, we also offer implementation for the developers, because there's a lot of developers that are not necessarily coders. They're entrepreneurs that have had an app developed, and they like our platform. They want it integrated. We'll integrate that for them at no cost. I mean, usually it's so quick, especially on the Corona side. We'll integrate that for them, and we've done that for several developers. And sometimes there's just problems. They don't really know where to put things and whatever, and we'll integrate that for them. So yeah.
Okay, well, excellent. So if you're a Corona developer, you're interested in promoting your app, definitely wanted to monetize it, then you to go over to LunarAds.com, check them out, sign up for an account for free, and create a channel and get started.
Channel, that's exactly right.
So one SDK, don't have to update it whenever something changes, and you can mix and match however you want.
Yeah, you can use it for your own ads, for cross promotions, for ad networks. It's your space, and we want you to use it.
Excellent. Well, great. Well, thank you. Thanks a lot for being here with us today, Richard.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. Spending some time with us. You've explained it extremely well. I feel like I know a lot more about LunarAds, and I'm very confident what it can do for us. So
I did my job then.
All right. Well, hang on with us after we close here. But for everybody who wants to check it out, do go to LunarAds.com, and remember that you can also find more information about this. We're going to get some information from Richard about his magazine and maybe some other information about LunarAds and stuff, and we're going to put that on the Corona Geek website. So do be sure to check us out at coronageek.com, and follow us on, circle us on Google+, follow us on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter. We're always on there, and be sure to join us Monday, 2 p.m. Central, for the Corona Geek Hangout, where we talk everything mobile development using the Corona SDK. All right. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Take it easy.